I think we really need to rethink what it means as a society to be courageous, because it's not what you think about, what we can see in the films and Hollywood films, and courage is muscly men, climbing, scaling these buildings on fire. No, actually, true courage is usually gender free, because when you look at someone like Andrew Tate and his in this conflict with Greta Thunberg showed far greater courage than this man who's supposed to be, his whole persona is about bravery and strength and macho-ness, and yet she outdid him in her support of Gaza. She lost everything, in terms of the liberal media appeal of a brand and image, and as well as the fact that she put her neck on the line by supporting the Gaza flotilla. She was part of the first wave of the Gaza flotilla, and now she's part of the second wave, including multiple dozens of other ships that she herself has inspired to go and set sail to provide aid for people of Gaza. And there are very few people on this planet who have, in rhetorical terms, the balls that she has. Furthermore, when we consider, all these multitude of brands out there, you have these macho brands like, Jaguar, Mercedes, BMW, and these luxury male brands that are designed to make you feel like a courageous man. Do you know what? Which of those companies supported the Palestinians? None of them. What we saw this week was a cosmetic beauty bath bomb brand by the name of Lush that actually stepped up and supported the Palestinians by closing its shops for one whole day, and therefore negating the revenue that they would otherwise receive. But of course, it's a protest against government, because the government would not receive the tax of their taking of the day's taking. So there would be the government would be losing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in terms of taxes for that day. So it is a protest against the British government. It's also a showcasing and presenting to the wider public that they are against a genocide, which of course Lush are on the side of the public. Lush on the side of the millions out there who support the right of human, the fact that we're human beings and we not choose where we're born, and so therefore we all have an intrinsic right to life. Something that the Zionist-owned, media infrastructure fails to understand, or rather, Zionist leaning, these, obviously, vast majority of media of brands out there are owned by millionaires and billionaires, and they all want to preserve their network. They want to preserve their capital, and so they wouldn't want to, therefore, and also they don't necessarily think about things in terms of humanitarianism for the most part. They do have so there's a study that shows that CEOs and people as business leaders, they're more likely to be psychopathic. 20% are more likely to be 20% of them are psychopathic, which is the same proportion of people in prison who are psychopathic. So make that make sense. But I just wanted to, really showcase the fact that those that really have balls. Well, okay, this analogy doesn't make sense because Lush does actually have balls. It has bath bomb balls that you can buy from the shop, but it's nothing to do with what appears like, what it appears to be the case on the surface. Those that have the courage and the balls and the bravery are not as presented in the Hollywood films, not in the Die Hard sequels. It is in the form of people like Greta Thunberg, Rachel for Littles, who's a children's TikTok influencer, or rather very young. She does kind of a sing along, and does kind of show and tell, kind of these nursery rhymes. Greta Thunberg, Lush, and of course a whole assortment of these bands like Green Day. True punk rockers are those that are truly against the system, not necessarily lenient and subservient to the system and conforming to the system, so lest they not have their bottom line be affected. True punks are not sellouts, but rather they may have success as a result of being inspirational to the masses, and therefore not selling out really in the end. The system has worked for them rather than the other way around. But there's much more to be said in this, but be courageous. Don't care about how you're being seen. Just do the right thing. And people of conscience is the very antidote. Conscience and how morality and ethics is the antidote to this Zionist hellscape that is committing a genocide. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That'd be very much appreciated. Thank you.